don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you.
I don't know what's real anymore. I've opened up the door to know.
Hello there everyone, this is Tom, and continuing with my series of Masterpiece Transformers from a 2018 perspective, here we have MP13, Destron's Communications Officer Soundwave. And this is the reissue that Takara Tomy did, I think it was back in 2017. But, so I honestly can't tell you the differences between this one and the other one, other than the price. The insane prices on a Soundwave on eBay and Facebook and some of the other sites. These things were going for upwards of $300, if you recall, before Takara Tomy said they were going to reissue them. But I waited and I got this one, and it's what it is. In the back of the box you get product shots of all the various different things that he does. He doesn't come with Condor, he comes with Laserbeak. So that was different from the original. There's the side, there's the bottom, it's got upside down words and things in the product shot, and there's the top. Alright, so why don't we crack this thing open and see what all comes in here. And we've got an empty box. Okay. So we get our collector coin, which honestly, collector coins and I aren't on the best of terms. I just don't care. It's kind of like the cards. The cards are nice, but they will never, ever probably be displayed or whatever. So you get your instruction sheet, and you can tell I haven't opened this. That was the original piece of tape. You get directions telling you in foreign language exactly how to transform him and various different things. You get this copy of Soundwave Throughout the Ages, so there's that, which is kind of cool, I admit. You also get 2 collector cards, Soundwave, and oh, I guess it is Condor. So I guess in Japan he was Condor instead of Laserbeak. Okay, well, never mind, scratch that last thing I just said. Although Condor was yellow, wasn't he? In the original toy, wasn't he yellow? Regardless, let's take us a second here and take a look to see what we've got in here. Oh, and I've got Frenzy and Rumble's stuff here too, so not that that matters. Alright, cracking the packaging open, we have Soundwave with a Megatron gun, which is nicely detailed. It's got articulation points right here for the stock, and it extends. I don't know why, but maybe that has something to do with going on the jets. I don't know. And the barrel comes off. So yeah, you can have yourself a little Megatron gun there if you want. Alright. You get his... This is his weapon, isn't it? Yeah, because it's got the thing on the inside. So extend, and how do you get this thing out again? I can't remember exactly. I'll figure it out. There's a little trick to it. I remember that much. Anyway, let's see here. You get one of these blank Energon cubes. You get the hand piece from that one episode that he did stuff with. Yeah. Let's see here. You get this thing right here, which is meant to, you're supposed to cut these things out and put this over it and make it look like a display on his chest. I will not be doing that for this review, just because. You get Laserbeak, or Condor if you will, and he comes with his own little cassette tray here, which I should be able to open. Just have to do it in the right way, folks. And he can stay in his little cassette thing. We'll take a better look at him later. And the last thing in this clamshell is the figure itself. Just right off the bat, this is MP13, right? Okay. Let me tell you, my initial impression, he is extremely light. And I don't know if that's because this is the reissue or what, but he's really light. Here he is next to MP10. We can actually do the scale comparison right there between the two of them. Just looking at them right there, you could see the difference. Here it is next to Ocular Max's Mirage and Toy World's Jazz. And let me tell you, these things are about twice, if not more, heavy than this thing. I mean, this thing has apparently no die cast in it whatsoever. This thing is pretty hefty, and so is this one. So, let's see here. I tell you what, it's a little bit heavier than a Power of the Prime's Dinobot. I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference here. There's really not. This thing is light. I'm telling you, it's hard to tell which one is. They're very similar. They're very similar. And obviously he has more mass, even if he does have that big hollow piece on the inside. Let's see here. Oh wait, that's not a Power of the Primes. I apologize, folks. That's the DX9 swoop. Here is the Power of the Prime swoop. He is heavier than that one. He is heavier than that one. Classic Seeker. Stand, man. Why won't you stand? Oh, that's a tough call. This one's lighter, but not by much. Not by much at all. The Movie Bot. Yeah, he's heavier than the Movie Bot by a considerable amount. Here it is with Animated RC. Oh. Yeah, he's heavier than her, but not, again, not by much. Classics Prime. They're about the same. And he has die cast. Actually, I think he's lighter than him. Holding them in hand, he's lighter than him. That's a problem. Regardless of how you feel about Soundwave or anything else, that's a problem. Comparison with Quick Strike, just real quick. And, of course, Nemesis Prime. Hey Tom, what's up with this lightweight? Get the hell out of here, Nemesis. Screw you. He's coming in at approximately 9 inches tall to his head. Shoulder to shoulder. Looks like about 4.5. Depth-wise, width-wise, whatever you call it. We're looking at 2.25. There you go. Let's see here. I spent a whole lot of time talking about how he scales, and I apologize for that, but I think it's relevant. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Alright, so articulation wise, this thing here moves around a little bit. His head is on a hinge swivel, so it goes up and down and all the way around. It's a nice little head sculpt. And look at that, nice blood red eyes. You got the pretty little Decepticon crest. Takara makes a decent product, usually. And there's a reason why people love this Soundwave, and it's not just because he holds all the cassettes. You got some tampographed, no, it's not tampographed, that's tampographed. You have some paint here on the shoulder, silver, black, and red. His shoulders can go out to there on a hinge, and they can go all the way around. His elbow bends, double jointed elbow. You can see the joint right here. It's double jointed. They got this nice little cut, which I know is for transformation, but it's still nice. It hides that fairly well. The wrist is on a ball peg or mushroom peg. First finger is articulated so he can point at stuff and say, "Give me my pizza!" Okay. And the others are cast solidly, and the thumb is a fixed piece. The other is the same. Push the button and that pops open the way it's supposed to, revealing some really nice details on the inside. He has a waist swivel, which kind of breaks up the sculpt a little bit, but that's okay. Let's see, no, he doesn't have hip skirts, but what he has here is, I think this is a universal joint, and then he has a hinge right here, which is supposed to allow it to go forward, but yeah, it does. Okay. So you could see it's ratcheted right there. Man, that's awfully close. That's as far back as he can go. That's it, right there. This one goes back that far, this one comes up that far. So he can kindly lean back a little bit. Now I want to back out just a touch. He can lean back a little bit. That's his leg articulation right there, because of the way this is done. Alright, and so he's not going to be able to do the American splits, but by hell, those universals, he can do the Chinese splits just fine. Okay, coming down the figure, we've got chromed out rewind, play, and fast forward. Here's stop, and I can't remember what the circle stood for. It doesn't really matter, I don't guess, but you got those. The knee, coming down the leg, you've got single jointed knee, which gets you 90 degrees easily enough. He has a thigh swivel built into this universal joint right here. You can see it moving right there. So it's more of a hip swivel than a thigh swivel. You've got silver paint, yellow goldish paint. It's the same color paint as this up here. Goldish paint, more silver. You've got the feet here, which are die cast. They must be the only thing on here where it's die cast, because this is plastic, this is plastic, that's plastic. So okay, I guess I was wrong. He does have some die cast, and that's the feet. So these are his feet. As you can see, they can go all the way down. That's a transformation thing. He's got a rocker, lets him break his ankle. Then it's got, I mean, you can extend his foot this way, and you could make him go all the way down, I guess, if you really wanted to. But with that, that is as far as he can go flat-footed. Okay. So put that back in there. Put that back in there. Let's see. he can hold a cassette. You just pop that in there. And with some of these cassettes you have to do it kind of just the right way. But he can hold a cassette. There's a, if you push this in, he can actually hold up to 3. And I actually have 3 right here. I just got to get them in there. Let's see. Here's one. Just drop that in there like that. Here's another one. You just drop it in there. If it doesn't come apart on you, just drop that one in there too. And then you drop this one in there. And he can hold all 3. You eject one, close it up. There's a button here on the back. You push it down a little bit and it pops the next cassette forward. Yeah, these KFC cassettes don't like coming out. Come out. Come out. Damn you. Okay, so I don't know if the original ones have this issue, but apparently I'm about to break this, trying to get the damn thing out. And I would prefer not to do that. Come on now. Alright, so I'm going to have to find a tool to pry that thing out with. Looks like something that really makes me happy. I will return. So I was able to get this particular cassette out, although I don't think it damaged anything except my feelings. I guess. So let's see here. Here's his gun. I was finally able to get it out. It will fit in his hand in your typical Masterpiece style. It's got the little tabs, and he's got the grooves, and he's got the groove, baby. You just punch that in there, and mine doesn't hold on its own. It most definitely would not pass a shake test, but if you don't cuss at it too much, he can hold it. And what about the Megatron gun? Yeah, I'd say you can hold it too. Although I have to point out it doesn't have the tabs, so that may be, yeah, that's what that sliding bit was for, so that he could be held like that. So yeah, Soundwave can hold Megatron as well. And I think the, look folks, I'm only going to edit some of this, the relevant parts. If we have stuff falling apart, or if it doesn't work properly for some reason or another, I'm going to leave that in so you all can see it. Here is the blank Energon cube, and it's got a thing in there where you can print something off and make it look all pretty. This also is supposed to fit some way or another on his chest here. Maybe it fits on that other piece. It doesn't fit on, there we go, okay. Yeah, it'll fit, maybe. No, it won't fit on that either. If I keep that up, I'm going to damage it. I think this is designed to fit in here, and this just clips over here, right? Okay. I bought 2 more of these at Amazon, and I think there were only, I don't know, 2 left when I bought these, but they were Amazon exclusive Soundwave cubes, and there were 2 packs of them. So yeah, that works. So I figured this out with the Energon cubes. What you do is you put his little screen on there, then you take this cube here and you pop the top of it off. This lip will actually fit in here, just like that. So Yeah, there's nothing wrong with these Energon cubes. I have a selection of others that I like as well. So, I mean, like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're nice little cubes. They're nice little cubes. So, yeah, they work. They work just fine. Let's see here. The 3 that I got actually has directions on how to figure it out. So, there's always that. Alright. And I think that's all the accessories, and I think that's everything I need to do with him prior to transformation. So why don't we get into that here in just a second. There was one additional accessory that I didn't show off, and I think we need to do that before transformation, and that's this thing. So this is that thing he used in that one episode, that one time that I can't remember which episode it was, and it's not horribly relevant because he'll never be shown with it in my collection other than right here. What you do, lift up his arm, open up this cavity right here, make sure that your fingers are all closed, tuck that away, tuck that in, shut that off. Now there are, if you can see them here, holes right here. Those holes are going to correspond to those, and you literally just plug it right in, and now he's got his funky hand accessory thingy. Let's transform. Step 1 of the transformation deals with the placement of this gun, and what you do is you simply kind of reconnect everything back in there, push that in. The gun will naturally kind of collapse in on itself, hopefully, like that, and yeah, you're left with one of these little cylinders. What you do now is you take, I've got mold flash right there, I know you all can see that, it's very prominent, and right here too. Masterpiece. Okay, what you do is this piece right here is going to plug into this port right here, and this is step 1, if I can get in there, of transforming him. Now what these will eventually be will be the batteries, effectively. So next thing we do is we take our little piece here that was in that one episode that one time that we'll never look at again, and we put it, it's got a little notch right there if you all could see it, and it's going to go in right here and just kind of hang out and be like his butt bazooka. Okay. Sometimes I have way too much free time, folks. So, alright. So the first thing we're going to do is, after we've got those things on there, we're going to put the hands away, which we just fold and tuck, just like that. Simple enough. Come back here to the back. We're going to open up this little cavity right here, and then we're going to tuck his head away. It is, and close that back up. It is not necessary to spin his head around. I don't even know if it's possible or not. Next, we pull this piece up. It's on a extension hinge right here, if you could see that right there. We need to rotate this around, and this needs to come down and set flush so that these two are kind of the same length. They're not quite, this one's a little longer than that one, but not by much. Okay, next we come around here to the back, and we lift up these little flaps right here, if we can. These little flaps right here on both sides. Okay, we rotate the arms down here at this bicep swivel so that they are like this. Okay. Next we come here, and this entire waist assembly is on the slider. Can you all see that? So you shift that back as far as it'll go. Okay. You bring up these leg pieces here, kind of parallel. Alright. Then you rotate here at the... Oh, he does have a thigh swivel. My apologies. I think I missed that in the initial review. So he looks kindly like this. Next, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and there's a hinge and a clip, and I've got mold flash right there too. I don't know if y'all can see it. I guess I needed to put this back in here and leave it. Man, this figure's got mold flash all over it. I don't know if it's just where they've reused the mold or what, but yeah, masterpiece. Okay. So these come in. They're not going to set flush just yet. That's okay. These bend here and come up like this. Oh, these are supposed to be like this. That's why. Next, we're going to bend them here at this joint. What am I doing wrong here? What are you doing wrong, Tom? You got it right. Oh, I got losing my mind here. The feet come around like this. Okay. And they come down so that you get something that looks like this from the top. And there should be, yeah, you've got little tabs right here that will plug into a little groove right there. So you just shift it until you get it in there and just tab it in place. Do that on both sides. Alright, now we bend here at this joint. Making sure that it's in the back there. What are you doing wrong here, Tommy boy? That's the only way it bends. It's got to bend that way. What are you doing wrong here, Tommy boy? Because that doesn't look right. But that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, so you've got to bend, and it shows it collapsing in on itself here. Like that. Okay. Alright, I got it. I'm not plumb dumb. I just play that guy on TV sometimes. Alright, so much like MP10, it's got a locking tab right here. You push this in, and that allows your leg to compress like that. See how easy that was? That's the leg extended and it's locked into place. Push the button, it'll lock right back where it's supposed to go. Now we just put this in place, and there's a pin right here. It's going to lock into that port right there to help secure it. And I don't know if there's any other locking point or not, but that's the big one. So, and I mean, you heard that. That was a very satisfying snap when it went in. Let's see here. Lastly, there's a couple of things we need to do. This comes down all the way around. Rotate that way, and this will fill in that gap right there. So watch that again. It's like this right now, right? It comes down on this hinge. It continues down, so that's a double hinge right there. More mold flash. Man, there's mold flash too. Rotate this around and click that into place. And unless I am badly mistaken, pull this out extend these pieces right here, pull them down, and shouldn't this go up? Yeah, it should go up, shouldn't it? I should be able to, there we go, lock that into place. And there is Soundwave in his cassette deck mode. So taking a look at Soundwave in this mode, he's still got that pretty little Decepticon symbol that's tampographed right there. It's not a sticker. The chest comes off, it's the exact same. The buttons, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can, they're spring-loaded, the fast forward and the rewind. The other ones are not. You've got the record battery, you've got that little battery light, R and L right there. Nice little details. The top of it, whoop, excuse me, obviously the button still works. Top of it looks like this. Side, you've got various fake buttons and gadgets and doodads, and I guess this is meant to represent where you can plug it in with something. Slides, ports to put in headphones which aren't actually deep enough to do so. On this side you've got, this thing actually slides. This would be another port, more slides and such. The back of it looks like this, which you're not going to see a whole lot of the back, but it does clean up well. I give it full credit for that. In this mode, it is approximately just 5 1/8. 5 1/8. Yeah, 5 1/8. Depth-wise, it's 2 and just, it's not quite a half and it's not quite an eighth, so that's what, 16ths, whatever. Height-wise, it's measuring in at 3 inches. Okay. So let's back out just a second. Here it is next to that crappy Bumblebee from Generations line I absolutely despise. And here it is next to Classics Prime. Again, just for a sense of scale. And I don't think I have... here it is next to the Dinobot from the Power of the Primes line. Sense of scale. I don't have any MP cars transformed right now, but I do have Squeaks. Again, just to give you a sense of scale. Okay, and why not? In this mode, here he is next to an untransformed MP10. I think I mentioned his cassette deck still works, but we're not going to put all 3 of them in there this time, but we could if we wanted to. We still have access to that button right there. So yeah, you can still pop out a condor bird or whatever. Final thoughts wise, this guy's a mixed bag for me. For so long I wanted Soundwave. I mean, we're talking 2 years. I waited to purchase a Soundwave. I purchased other things to buy a and just held off on buying Soundwave. And then when I got him, it was kind of one of those things where it just couldn't live up to my expectations, I think. Maybe. Of course, having said that, he is relatively dynamic. You can get him into some nice poses, even though he is limited in certain areas. I know there are people out there who are die-hard Soundwave fans, and this is the greatest thing that Takara ever created, and you know, nobody better say jack about it or answer to them type thing. But here's the thing about it. This is a good figure. This is a dated figure, but it is still a good figure. It's just not up to what I would consider 2018 standards. When we have Toy World Devi and you know, the MMC Sphinx, he's representative of an era that is not really, I'm not going to say relevant, it's not really modern anymore. I think that's the way to put it. He's just not modern anymore. He's kind of like that antique wardrobe in your parents' bedroom, or you know, that piece that has that armoire that has that marble counter, that big slab of marble. It looks nice and it is extremely functional, but it is well out of date. And that's kind of what I think with this. Good figure, very light, and I've got sprue marks. I got one right here I just found. I've got sprue marks all over the place, and that's an issue, but I won't see him when he's on the shelf. So yeah, I think that's what I've come to, and I guess the only thing left to do is to compare him to Metroplex. And now, to answer the burning question on everyone's mind, how does the MP13 Soundwave Destron Communications Officer scales Metroplex? And there you can see Metroplex is holding him in his hand. And I know we're doing an apples to oranges thing, but because we're doing generations in MP, but I don't think, name me another figure in your MP collection that you have from a modern perspective that Metroplex can hold in his hand unsupported. He's light, and I think this is the best example I can give you of it, just exactly how light he is. And finally, here he is transformed again in the hand of Metroplex. I pointed out the fact that I thought that the MMC Sphinx and whatever else I used, the Jazz, Toy World Jazz, was a lot heavier than him with the die cast. I would not be able to hold them in his hand. Not like that. Not, again, unsupported. So, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
And thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.